You mentioned Dubai. Tell me what it's like going to that city. What do you think of it? I was there for the first time 3 months ago, and I was really blown away.
I
What do
think
you see?
Dubai is the city of the future. If I had to bet on one city, it's Dubai. I'm in awe with how that city is developing, how the government thinks, and the level of progress. People come to me and they're like, you can't be talking about Dubai like that. I was there and it was this and this and this. And I asked them, when were you there? And they say, well, I was there in 2010. And I explained to them, Dubai is growing at least 3 times faster culturally and physically as any other city. In fact, physically, it's probably growing 10 times faster than any other city out there. But culturally, it's evolving so fast. So saying you went to Dubai in 2010 and suggesting that it hasn't changed is like saying New York of 1990 is the same as New York of 2022. That's a 3-decade time span. Dubai is changing really rapidly. And I know it gets its criticism, okay? Like, for example, there are certain things that we take for granted in the West, which maybe culturally are not acceptable in Dubai. But that's going to change too. Let's remember that in a survey done in 1991 on the American public, the majority of Americans, close to 55% of Americans, said it was wrong for interracial marriages to happen. In other words, the majority of Americans, 55% of Americans in 1991 said that it was wrong, morally wrong, for a black and a white person to marry. Today, 4% of Americans think that. And eventually, that idea is going to feel so ludicrous that no one would think that. But that change, 55% to 4%, is what we talk about when we speak of social progress and cultural progress. And it's happened in 30 years. And in Dubai, that level of progress, cultural progress, is happening in around a decade. And so whatever we think of Dubai right now, it's going to be different. It's going to be different a few years from now. And that's why I'm betting on that city.
Yeah, it's an incredible city. I did a vlog there when I was walking through the mall there, and I titled it, Dubai is what America used to be. And I was just talking about this concept of when you got to America a couple hundred years ago, you could do what you want. You could go west, you could use the land, you could build your businesses. The government wasn't trying to stop you, wasn't trying to tax you, wasn't trying to tell you. And then I felt like that was the same way. It was entrepreneurial, it was free spirit, the sky was the limit.
Right.
And people were all there. They moved there to go build their lives, their fortunes, their everything. And I got this incredible feeling there. And people from all over the world were there doing all these incredible things. I got stopped more in Dubai than I do in London. People all over the Dubai Mall, Brian Rose, I remember you, I saw your videos during lockdown, all this stuff. I was like, crazy.
My God, that's amazing.
Crazy.
Right.
Guys stopped me from Kuwait and then from all over the world that were there. And I was just
that's something I noticed there. People there really love learning.
Yeah.
I get recognized in the street there more than any other city in the world. They love learning.
Yeah. I was telling you, like, when you go there, you realize, no one's phoning it in there. Like, no one's just coasting in Dubai because everyone there is there with intention. And it changes the vibe of the place. Maybe it's like a Mindvalley event, right? Where it's like everyone comes there and they're there for a reason. Okay, I'm here to do this. Okay, maybe you're there to drive a taxi. Maybe you're there to build a building. Maybe you're there to build a house. But you're there because you believe it represents something greater than where you are. And you can criticize Dubai for certain things, but people intentionally go there to build something. And that energy is really infectious.
Yeah.
And it's not what you think it is. It's not the stereotype of what you told it was. I was actually there in 2008 when I still work in the city of London. I stayed at one of the Palm Resorts and I looked around and I didn't really get it either. But it's come so far now.
Yeah.
And everyone there looks like they work for the tourism board of Dubai. Because Americans, Israelis, all they want to do is pull you aside and say, this is the greatest place on earth.
I know, isn't that crazy? That's what I'm getting.
That's viral
what
marketing.
I'm getting. People who, I meet the most incredible people in Dubai, and I don't see this in any other city. They are trying to recruit other people to Dubai.
Yeah.
It's the energy there is incredible. So I went to Dubai on a business trip. I was meeting with the government. I was there for 2 weeks. Before I left, I'd found an apartment and I bought an apartment right next to the Burj Khalifa because I decided I want to make the city my second home.
I love it, man. Congratulations. Like, I love it. I love it. I'm looking to do the same thing and I want to spend a few months a year there. And there's so much great stuff going on. So many cool things, so many great projects, cool blockchain stuff, and just all around entrepreneurial stuff. And again, I'd say to everybody, it's not what you think it is. Go check it out.
It's not. Like, I wish people wouldn't have a closed mind. I think there is a certain form of Eurocentrism in the world where people are skeptical whenever a Middle Eastern country or an Asian country makes such rapid progress. Oh, they must be cheating. right? I look at how people in the West sometimes label Singapore. It's authoritarian. It's chewing gum is banned. Who the heck cares if chewing gum is banned? And firstly, that's not completely true. Right. Singapore is a marvel of engineering. It's an incredible city, as is Dubai. And I think people need to have an open mind.
Yeah, and if you're a Londoner, I mean, you come back and, you know, the NHS now is about to break. The nurses are on strike. I go into the tube today, take my boys to school, and, you know, I mean, it hasn't changed much since 1960, let's be honest. You know, this city and this country in many ways is breaking, if we're honest. You know, is it really fun to live in this democracy? Do we really see progress? Are people really being looked after? And then I go to Dubai and I see a transportation system that is driverless, everything that is seamless, everything being built for the future, infrastructure, zero taxes, all this healthcare. And it's like, well, which city is better? You know?
Right.
And then the safety. And it's like, well, I think, like you said, very Eurocentric, and we've convinced ourselves that this is the right way. But if you really look at the metrics, I don't know if it is.
Yeah.
And so I look at like the sheikh in Dubai, and I'm like, well, here's a guy who has a really firm vision. There's a little memorial there right by the Burj in a park there, and it's got a bunch of his mantras on the outside of it. And you got a guy who, I was born in 1971, and there was pictures of Dubai in 1971, and there wasn't much there. So in 50 years, it's done these incredible things. And he's just got this really long-term vision that's probably backed up by all of his kids. And they're like, we're going to build this in the next 100 years. And we're putting our family name on the line, our capital on the line, our culture on the line. It's like, I kind of want to roll with someone like that. Right. Now, I ran to be the next mayor of London. And I looked up, honestly, Vishen, I looked at the infrastructure problem, the knife crime problem, the housing problem. And I came up with all these solutions. And I remember one time I looked at my team, and we had advisors from the Metropolitan Police and the House of Lords. And I remember this Zoom call, and I said, look, if we do the right thing, the next mayor is going to take credit for everything we do. I said, are you all okay with that? And they said, we're all okay with that. And we're like, all right, let's go. And
that's long-term thinking.
Yeah, so that was the only way, because the tubes are going to take 10, 20 years. But the problem is no one's ever going to do that because we're on an election cycle. And so the system, I think, is inherently flawed, whereas a place like Dubai, they're like, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to spend the next 100 years. And so I'm seeing some of the positives. And yeah, maybe there's some negatives, maybe in certain human rights or maybe in certain things, they're not where other places are. But I agree with you. I think it's going there rapidly.
Right.
And again, it's funny how it all comes down somehow even to capital. You know, if you really have a place that is pro-business, I actually think pro-ideas comes right after that.
Right.
You know?
And there's one more thing about Dubai that's worth mentioning. The Emiratis are a minority in their own country. Yeah. They said, look, if you're brilliant, if you're talented, come. You can get a golden visa in Dubai for buying a property, you know, that's $500,000, or for being extremely talented, or for starting a business there. The Emiratis don't care that they are a minority in their own country. But now you look at what happened in the UK with Brexit, right? The pro-Brexit people literally got Brits to vote for Brexit based on lies. And one of those lies, remember the billboard? Yeah, with the hordes of brown people, and then creating the fear that Turks are going to be coming into the UK, which was a lie because the UK is not part of Schengen. In the UK, people literally shot themselves in the foot with Brexit, and now that's become evident with the shrinking of the UK economy. One culture chose to go, you know what, if you're brilliant, if you're smart, come. We don't care. We just want our country to be great, and you're welcome. The other culture, like egged on by xenophobic politicians, took the opposite path. And I think that is the key difference between the Emirates and the UK today.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that's true for all of the UK, right? Like, I grew up in the British Empire. I speak English because Britain used to run Malaysia, where I was born. And I'm going to be moving to London, so I'm not in any way trying to speak negatively of the UK. But there is something to be said about cultures that are open to immigration and cultures that decide to be close to immigration. And I'm very, very, very pro-immigration.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.